The Buccaneers ended their season on a high note. Jameis Winston threw a game-winning touchdown pass to Chris Godwin with 9 seconds to play. Winston, 3 picks on the day, but that one touchdown pass was the difference. 363 yards through the air for him. The Saints, even though they lost, still clinched the NFC South. The Saints host Carolina in New Orleans on Sunday. Tampa's season is done. It does appear that the Bucs are going to keep head coach Dirk Cutter.
Yeah.
Do you think they can take some positive momentum? Can they feel good going into the offseason with this win, even though they didn't make the playoffs?
No, I still think this was a massive disappointment for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There was a lot of hope and hype that this team would compete for an NFC South division. Now, granted, this turned out to be the most difficult division to compete in as the other 3 teams got into the postseason: Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans. But the fact that Jameis Winston got hurt, that this passing attack never really got off the ground. You thought Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans, Jameis might throw for 5,000 yards. Mike Evans might, catch 100 balls for 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. It just did not happen. To me, there needs to be a culture change there in Tampa Bay. Something's not right. The dynamic of that team, there's too much talent, and we're hearing rumblings that Cutter and Winston maybe don't have the relationship that a head coach and a quarterback should have. So to me, there needs to be a culture change in Tampa Bay. That's why I can't get excited about this late crazy win against the New Orleans Saints. And as far as the Saints are concerned, I don't know if they wanted to blow this game. I don't imagine they did, because they knew if we win, we take care of business and we guarantee ourselves that 3 seed in the or a home playoff game, I should say, in the NFC's wild card round. But they take the L, and by virtue of a tiebreaker, the Rams, who lost to the Niners when they were resting every starter on both offense and defense, they lost, and they maintain the Rams the 3 spot. The Saints fall to the 4 spot, which is actually the easier route to the Super Bowl. If you're the Saints, you get a home game in the wild card round against a scattershot Cam Newton and a very inconsistent Carolina team. If you win that game, you go on the road instead of to Minnesota as the 3 seed. You go to Philadelphia. That's not easy, but it's much easier going to Philadelphia with Nick Foles as the quarterback and winning the game than with Carson Wentz as the quarterback and winning the game, and that's the reality for the New Orleans Saints. And then after that, you take on whoever comes out of that Minnesota game in the divisional round, and you may not get that home game against Minnesota if they win, but at least you play them in the final game you would have to before the Super Bowl. So the Saints, I think, lucky or maybe smart.
Even though they lost.
Whatever term you want to use.
They really won, right?
They really won. The outcome of this game actually benefits them for the bigger goal, which is making it to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, and I'm disappointed. I'm angry at the Saints. I'm mad at the Bucs for winning. I wanted my Rams to be the 4 seed so they could have that path through Carolina and then Philadelphia to try and get into the Super Bowl. But bottom line, you're going to have to beat good teams in the postseason no matter what. And the Saints, I do think, are good enough to beat all the teams in front of them in the NFC and represent that conference in the Super Bowl.
Even though the Saints came up short, Who Dat Nation should still be happy, says Tyler, because their route to the Super Bowl is looking pretty good. Stadium, we're always on demand.